Okay, I think I'm going live. I think it is live. Let me just go up here. I got to shut the volume off on my computer when it pops up. And it lags behind just a little bit. JD, how you doing? How was your day? I'm just waiting for it to pop up on my screen here so I can, looks like I got to refresh it. That's what I had to do the last couple times. I don't know why.
All right, so here's the deal. National Concealed.
All right, got the volume off. We'll see what happens. Yep, it's working. Yeah, just trying to play around with the camera just a little bit so the lights aren't bothering you guys. Get back. And then I've been working on a couple more things, trying to get this set up better. So I think we'll just wait just a little bit for some more. See, the lights kind of, I don't know what to do. Leisure, how you doing? How was your day? Just getting started here. It was I got all my work done. Both cars, I got both them cars done. The Sienna van for the brakes and the power steering line. I fought that power steering line for a couple hours. I was oil and grease from head to toe. I didn't fight any of the connections. I fought where the line is supported with the brackets. They're all the way up back by the back of the intake. And I couldn't get them from the top, not without pulling the plenum. So I had to reach all the way up there. I got some scratches on my arm and stuff. It wasn't very fun. Oil running down my shirt. Hey Michelle, how you doing? I was just telling them about that transmission line, and we had to up the labor on it just a little bit, but I did not need the front calipers. I was able to clean theirs up because we quoted them, because they looked really rusty to me. So I told Michelle to quote them calipers. It turns out we didn't have to put any calipers on. The back calipers were replaced not too long ago. So just rotors and pads, and then the power steering line. And then I had to air up her tires. Her tires she must have not been driving it. And then they we had a call from another one of her sisters or somebody. They made an appointment, and then when they came to pick this fan up, another kid made an appointment. So they must be really happy with the cost and the service and all that. And the power steering hose was awful, But I got it. And we verified it's not leaking. Her brakes are nice and smooth now. And then I got the tranny service done on the Camry. But let me show you the wheel hubs on that Toyota Sienna. It's a 2004. So here's the wheels, man. They have never been cleaned up. I just can't let it go without cleaning it. And then I spray a little surface shield on them so they don't corrode anymore. But all the lug nuts are free and everything. It's got like the uni-style lug on it. It was JD, it was a 2004 Toyota Sienna van. So the line goes from the pump in the back on the passenger side. Then it loops all the way up back by the intake plenum, makes a sharp bend, goes all the way back down, and then hooks to the power steering rack. And hey Jesse, how you doing? How was your day? But anyways, I don't know. Somebody else replaced another line on there, so I think they missed the real line that was leaking. She was pretty upset when she came here. She said that she needs her brakes fixed, and she needs that power steering, so she don't have to put power steering fluid in it every time she drives it. Is what she told me. So yeah, I think they were really happy because 2 more of their family members have made appointments to get in. Looks good and toasty. Yeah, that wheel, the mating surface on the wheel there. Yeah, that's one of the worst ones. I mean, I use a little flapper disc, a 3-inch Roloc flapper disc on my headlight polisher, so it cleans them right up really nicely. It took me a little while to get the wheel bearing hub cleaned up, but I got them all cleaned up, all protected with a fluid film, or I use a lot more of the surface shield. It's the same thing. It doesn't stink as bad, and it's $1 cheaper a can. So that turned out really good. And then here on this, I brought the Camry in last night we're just doing a drain and fill, and I did it twice. It didn't turn out as good as I wanted it to, but barely any fluid comes out of there. So more fluid comes off if you pull the pan, but I only pulled the pan the first time to change the filter. But when I pulled the pan, here, look at this. Look what I found in the pan. One of the valve body bolts came out, was stuck to the magnet there. Honestly, the fluid was not that bad, but it was time for a change. So ended up, I put that bolt back. It just fell out of the valve body, so I put that bolt back in, and I retorqued all the valve body bolts. And I let this transmission drain overnight, but there's still a little bit of fluid left in the pan. So then I put the pan back on, retorqued all them bolts, and filled it up with fluid, took it out for a drive, brought it back in, and then I just drained it. I took the plug out and the little spout that goes inside where the plug goes, 6mm little plastic deal. And I drained it out again and then filled it up again, and then I took it out for another drive, and then I checked the level. And I think I got it down. So when I do my last drain and fill, I put a little extra in. So more than I took out anyways, is what I'm saying. That way I don't have to reach up onto the side, take that 24mm hex plug out and put it in there. So when I got back the last time when it was warmed up, I just let it drain out until it was at the correct level and called her good. Yeah, so I'm really happy that they were happy, and then they all want to get in here for appointments. That's great. Better catch up. So looks good and toasty, Leisure says, and he's talking about the wheel hub. Michelle says, hi, Jesse. And then JD says, must be doing something right. Yeah, we are booked out to the middle of September now. So pretty soon we're going to have to calm down our appointments because we are taking all of October off. Somebody fell asleep on the job. Yeah, not yet. I don't know. And then today I did my short video in the morning, just kind of showing you what I got to do. And I got that Ranger over here. It's right over there. I got it running pretty good, starting up pretty good. It's starting to get compression back because it didn't have no oil in it. And they stopped in today, and they're like, you had to put spark plugs in it? Because yeah, it didn't have no oil in it. It was starting to lose compression. They're all fouled. They're sitting over here. I could show you the spark plugs. So there's the spark plugs. They were fouled because she started losing some compression because it didn't have no oil in it. So yeah, it's this Ranger right here. I did it. Oh, so JD says, I did a transmission drain and fill plus filters on a 2016 Nissan Rogue today. Bought a dipstick on Amazon. It was so easy to add and check the fluid now. Yeah, I got one of those dipsticks too. I bought mine on Amazon too. He also says, I told them supposed to do it 3 times, but they didn't want to do that, so not my problem. Yeah, I tried to do them 3 times, but this one wasn't that bad, so I only did it twice. The fluid is very expensive for the WS fluid, and she's a regular customer, so the next 30,000 miles, we're gonna do it every 30,000 miles. She said, I'm like, I think you should think about getting a new car soon. And she says, because there's a bunch of other stuff wrong with it. She never wants to fix her tire sensors. She never wants to fix the BSC, whatever that is. There's the ABS lights on. She never wants, yeah, that's VSC, something to do with the ABS light. She never wants to fix any of that. But she says she needs that car to last until she retires. So I said, I'll do the best job I can. It runs really good. Oh, I had to do the air conditioning on it, and that leads me to another story, but I'll put it more like this. So I had to do the air conditioning on it too, and I know what's wrong with it. The evaporator core has got a really, really small leak. Every 2 years, I just add a little bit to it. And I told her that her neighbor is Wrench Sense, and that he said he would change that evaporator core out, and she wanted to know about how much it would cost, so I told her it was going to be fairly expensive. And she said, oh, hell no. NS3 fluid is pricey. Yeah, I haven't done a Nissan for a while, but I got some of that fluid back there. But anyways, so I go to do the air conditioning, and I only get out a couple ounces. So it holds 18 ounces. I've only got out like 3 ounces. So I need to put some in my machine because I don't keep refrigerant into my machine. Well, the keg of Freon refrigerant that I just bought, and the guy told me, I bought it ahead of time because he told me the prices were going up, and it's a brand I've never used before. Yeah, I'll put it up here because we got a little problem with this stuff. But anyways, I noticed when I first used it, it just didn't feel as heavy as it should. And I used it twice. And each time I'm like, man, it seems like I'm using more refrigerant than I'm. So today, I figured it out. I've used 3.5 pounds, 3.75 pounds out of this 30 pounds. Today, when I go back there, it's empty, completely empty, not even a whisper of fluid in it. So the valve must be leaking. I don't know. And I did check the valve was tight. I'm like, what the heck? So my rep's coming in tomorrow, I think, and I'm going to have a little discussion with him. Out 300 and some bucks for keg of 134A. JD says, it's funny that people that say I need this to last are the people that never seem to maintain their vehicles. Yeah, I have to beg her to come over here. And she always says, like, because the rumor is, like, I'm going to be packing up and going to Florida and not working on people's cars anymore. And she's like, over the last month, she's told me that I cannot do that. She's here. Everybody needs me. They're here to support me, but it is kind of hard to get her to bring her cars in. And she does have older cars. I'm not complaining. I'll keep her cars running. But yeah, my keg is empty. So then we called Napa. So we called Napa. I'm like, it's 4:30, and I gotta have some refrigerant to put in this Toyota Camry. So we called Napa, and we see if they could deliver it. Yeah, they can. So we go ahead and order it online. Napa immediately calls us back and says they need my number to order refrigerant. What is it? My MVAC number, MVAC number. And I'm like, they have it on file. So anyways, I had to dig that out of it. They said they updated their computer and they don't have my number anymore. So I had to dig that number out. But we got it. We called them right back with the number, and they keyed it in, and it went in. Josh Oman, hey, how you doing? How's it going for you? How was your day? Thanks for being here. Yeah, I got my root beer here. I haven't even cracked it open yet. And then Michelle made me a pizza at a couple minutes before I had to start my live feed, so it's sitting over here. I'm gonna have to eat it. Timmy, how you doing? How you feeling? Are you feeling better, Timmy? Yeah, so I don't know. My job for tomorrow is already here. They dropped it off. I didn't know if they were going to show up, but it's a 2010 Ford Fusion. It's for the rack opinion. It's electric rack opinion, and I have confirmed that it is out. I've checked all the powers and grounds and communication and comm. It's all up. I can communicate to it and everything, but it won't turn. It won't assist. And it's got the U3000 code or whatever. So every time I do one of those and it's got that code and I cannot reset it, it's always the rack. So Ford has discontinued that rack opinion. But I could still get a Motorcraft rack opinion or a Ford one, whatever. But it's quite pricey, and my customer said no. So I told him, I said, I will not put in anything other than OE. So I told him, I said, well, if you buy it, I'll put it in there. But when it goes out in a year, you're going to have to pay to do it over again. So he bought it. So if it does go bad, he's got to get his warranty for it, and then he's got to pay me to do it again. So I got that for tomorrow. I'd like to do that on this hoist over here. So this car here is a 2009 Ford Focus. Yeah, it's a Ford Focus. And I don't know, 2 months ago, it came in for a shake. Well, the shake turned out to be the brake hose was collapsed and holding the caliper, holding the brakes on the passenger front. Well, today she called me and said her car smells like a hot wheel, she said. I'm like, well, that's not good. I was like, which wheel is it? So she's like, it's the driver's side front. So I look it up. I did the passenger side front. So I did to confirm the other hose went bad. So I probably should be replacing the brake hoses in pairs. So she's like, yeah, I didn't think it was the side that you did before. And she says, I don't even know, because it's not shaking, it's not doing the same thing. And I'm like, well, it's just not you're not driving it long enough. So I'm gonna get that out first thing in the morning, and then I'm gonna bring the Fusion in and do the rack opinion. And then if I get any downtime, I gotta get the oil changed on this Polaris Ranger. I better catch up on the comments. Nope, no, Leisure, I did not hear from. I think we're gonna have to call them again, because we called them. They said we got to fill out the stuff online, and then they'll get back to us. So they haven't got back to us. I think we're gonna have to call them again. Timmy says he's doing great, just tired. And then he asks, Michelle, do you know Donald Trump ordered American flags to be lowered nationwide for 1 week to honor the late country music singer Dolly Parton? Yeah, we heard that. We heard that Dolly Parton died, and then we also, after that, we heard that Donald Trump came on and said to put the flags at half staff. I don't have any flags that are up that I have to lower. So yeah, Dolly Parton. That's all. Timmy says that's all I'm going to say about politics. Leisure says my landlady's husband was a country music DJ in the 70s. He interviewed Dolly. That's very interesting. I think my grandma, which has passed now, she shared a dorm room with Dolly Parton. I'll have to get the details of that. There's some pictures and stuff. I'll have to get the details of that from my mom. JD, what was the hose pinch by the bracket? Or just, I don't know for sure where the hose is bad on the inside. we can go take a look at it, but all I know is I brought it in. I couldn't turn the wheel, so I loosened the hose at the caliper, and the wheel freed up. I just had to do something here really quickly. I got it. Okay, I got distracted there just for a second. Yeah, I just wanted to get to that guy's channel so I can. I got him up on my computer. That was quite the unappropriate comment. So I got him up there so I can remember who he is and maybe turn him in. So Timmy says, I put down 5 flags today at my house. You got 5 flags? Wow, Timmy, you're a patriot. Leisure says, the people at our local FMP moved at the speed of molasses on a 10-degree day. Yeah, something is going on. That's just like the chip I sent to JD. It must have went on there. It must have got delivered to JD on the Real Pony Express. Actually, the Real Pony Express would have been faster than how it got to JD. What was that, 4 weeks? Yeah, you got him, but I just wanted to pull his page up so I can possibly do something with him. But yeah, let's go take a look at the brake line. So I'm not sure. I'm gonna flip this. Yeah, I just have to double tap it and it flips. I'm gonna go grab a flashlight. So we're gonna look at the 2009 Ford Focus brake line. So here's the new line that I put in. I don't know, it was like a month ago or so. And then this line here that's bad now. So I had cracked it. But it's not pinched anywhere. It's a very short little rubber line. So I'm gonna knock this out first thing in the morning. And then I'm gonna bring in the Fusion. And man, this racket pinion looks a lot easier to do. Oh, it's still hydraulic. Yeah, I gotta drop the cradle down on that other car. There's still some left of those brake pads. Looks like 6 millimeters. I don't know whose oil filter that is. Not mine. Just doing a little inspection. I haven't even looked at it yet. It is good enough to put up on the hoist still. Drum brakes in the back. It still has some life left in this car. All right, we'll go back. Yeah, Daisy's in here. Rodeo. Gonna get you. Rodeo. Give me that ball. Give me the ball. Fun. Yeah, hopefully I had it on the right setting. It looks like I did. One month to the day. Probably got hung up in customs. Yeah, JD's chip. Josh says, also never buy a car. They spy on you. They're all junk. Yeah, the new cars do. Bucking Bull, Daisy, happy puppy. Yeah, she's a happy girl. So we're at 52 invoices right now, and this car's not on there. So we're right at our 2 a day. We're doing good. I think we're gonna go over for this month, which is good. The Chevy Cruze with the I did a short video, and it needs the turbo, the valve cover, the oil cooler, the belt tensioner, oil change, and that's all I noticed with just like a half an hour of looking at it. They're not gonna fix it, and they wanted to know what I would offer them, so I offered them $300. They already paid me their bill, the invoice I had, so basically I'll be giving that back and $200. So I haven't heard from them. I think that's a pretty good offer for the car, and I hope they sell it to me. So I'm gonna put the little 1.6 engine out of the other Chevy Cruze in there. JD, I find that rust gets in between the brackets and the hose and pinches them close. Mostly see it on Dodge products, so I usually just open the bracket and hold the line a bit. Yeah, I could try that. I heard that about that, but I have never tried it. If it is a rust, it's just a little bit. I wonder how big the hole is inside there. I thought it was like 1/8 of an inch. Usual suspects on a Cruze. Yeah, that's got the 1.4 Ecotech turbo motor. I've done a lot of turbos on those. This one had the exhaust impeller broken off, and then it was sending. This is what I think was happening and why it was making such a loud noise. So it's putting exhaust into the intake, and then the engine would ping, I think. I don't know. It's either that or just the exhaust going into the intake made it sound so noisy. But I offered them $300 for the car. It is a little beat up. It's a little dirty. It's cracked up a little bit, but it's in better shape than the Cruze I got, and it's got actual aluminum wheels on it. I don't think I would fix the little 1.4 engine that's in it, although I could. They're just nothing but troubles in the head gas. He said he overheated it once because it got low on coolant. So I'm just wondering, maybe the head gaskets out of it. They usually are. Yeah, I've put head gaskets in those engines. I put turbos on them, oil coolers, valve covers, the belt tensioner. I've done it all on those things, but I don't. That was before at the other shop I worked at. I didn't have any control over like telling the customer this thing is junk and you're going to continue to put money into it. So he's already. It would take like, I think his quote was like $2,700 to fix just the stuff that I seen, and then when I did offer him the money, I went around and looked at it, and it's going to need rear brakes soon. And I didn't drive it, and I didn't look underneath the car yet. So I'm sure it needs a lot more stuff. And he also told me the cooling system has pure water in it, so that needs to be up to par before winter, or it's going to have more problems. Eco Wreck. I'm going to write that one down. Leisure said Eco Wreck. Leisure's got a bunch of quotes going on here. A 6.7 power stroke. TRD is totally rusted disaster. Buick Century is Century. Duramax, Duralax. Duralast don't last. I can't read my writing on that one. A BMW. Bleed my wallet. And then Michelle wants a boat. And Leisure says, break out another 1,000. So I'm going to write this one down. Eco Wreck. JD says a cruise is always leaking coolant. If it isn't, it's probably out of coolant. I agree with that one 100%. The little 1.6 Ecotech that we got in our cruise, that one's a non-turbocharged, but it's got coolant in it, and it's full. Even with the radiator smashed in, it's still full. So I find that to be really weird. I did take off the cap after it sat out there for a week, and there was pressure in there. That I found that to be weird too. Like maybe the head gasket's just not sucking it in; it's pushing it out. But I like that little 1.6 Ecotech better than the 1.4. So I think if I get that 2016 cruise, I'm gonna shimmy that older engine in there somehow. Maybe the check engine light will be on. I don't even care. .6 and 1.8 are okay. The 1.4, yeah, the 1.4 is garbage. And I can't remember which Ecotech engine. It wasn't the 2.0 maybe. I put timing chains in a couple years ago, and it's still going strong. But it was like a 2020 or 2021 or 2022. It was a newer one. Alicia says, my friend converted a cruise to electric. He made an adapter to keep the 5-speed. Hey, that's a good idea. I'm almost to the point where I could start. I was almost to the point I was making a driver to drive a 3-phase motor. I just never got it done. I always wanted to build my own electric car. Use lithium manganese batteries. Yeah, there was some older S10s that were electric back in the day. And I think they were manual transmissions. They just left them in I can't remember what gear, 3rd gear or something. From the factory, an S10, all electric. Yeah, I gotta select my stream here. I didn't do that. Got up the analytics. So keeping on point to a point, let's check the schedule. So yeah, the cruise, they told me it just had grinding at idle. And it turned out to be a lot of noise, and the turbo was completely destroyed. So tomorrow is the 2010 Ford Fusion for the rack, and then I got these 2 jobs are not appointments. They're just walk-ins, drop-offs. And then I got a truck coming in for a CV axle, a Ram. It's like a 2016 Ram. I put one axle in it, but now he says the other one's bad. So I got to see what's up and get an axle in that on Thursday. I got a 4-wheel drive that don't go into 4-wheel drive. It's a F-150 on Friday. 3 oil changes lined up for Saturday, which ain't very many. We only had 4 last week. And then I did the 96 Chevy right here. So here I'm doing the water pump. You can see a little bit of antifreeze going down the drain in the front there. But it's sitting inside here in the shop, and I noticed there's a puddle of oil straight down from the differential, almost going into the drain. So I'm like, okay. So I also noticed when I drove it in that the brake pedal would go to the floor. And the master cylinder was full, and there was no leaks. So I did the water pump, I did the master cylinder, and then I brought it over to the other side I think I did it on Sunday, right, Michelle? I finished it up on Sunday. And I did a couple short videos, but I put a brand new cover on the back because the cover was rusted through. And Sean Lang, are you familiar with the 700 R4? Well, slightly. I had to rebuild the one in my Corvette 4 times because I didn't hit the problem right away. what do you got an issue with a 700 R4? I mean, we got some guys on here that know about stuff if I don't know. Yeah, because JD said, I seen the oil supply line get plugged up and burn up the turbo before it ended up burning off the return line and exhaust was coming out the return. Yeah, I know that them oil lines, they stuck on those turbos. Oh yeah, Michelle said I should put my microphone down if I'm going to eat. So I'm just sneaking a piece of pizza here. Sean Lang says, I checked the governor. It was fine. Flushed it and all. TV cable is my next thing. It's not shifting, or I do know that the throttle valve cable, or what we used to call kickdown cable, has to be adjusted correctly on a 700 R4. And it's not hard to set them, although I can't remember how to tell you how to do it right now. It does have to be hooked up, and it does have to be set correctly. She got me, I can't remember, I don't know what kind it is, but it's pepperoni. They're about 2/3 of the size of a regular pizza that you cook in the oven. But it might be stretched or something. I just want to know, what issue are you having? Is it a new transmission? Is it an old transmission? Are you building a hot rod? Did it shift before? It ain't shifting from first to second unless I let off the pedal for a minute. Okay, that's some more information. No factory 700, nothing done to it. So are you putting it in something, or is it in something and it developed this problem? I still need a little bit more. Did it work before? So yeah, I'd make sure that cable is adjusted correctly. And if that don't take care of it, there's something else wrong. I put the TCC solenoids and filter in a 4L60E yesterday. Why can't GM put a drain plug in? I ended up spilling a bunch of fluid on the floor and myself. Yeah, so my Corvette, I ended up taking that pan off so many times, I just drilled a 3/8 hole in it, and then I welded a 3/8 nut in it. Then I put a 3/8, cut off a little short 3/8 bolt and put a nylon washer on it. So whenever I had to pull the pan off, because I had the transmission in and out of the car 4 times. So Sean is saying it developed a shifting problem, and he's trying to get it fixed. So unless the cable slipped or something, I'm going to say she's internal. How's the fluid? What color was the fluid in? Was it good? Was it dark? Was it burned? Sean says, I spilled too. It's terrible. That's exactly what I did. I added a bung to mine so I could drain it easy. Yeah, I just tack welded a little 3/8 nut on the inside, like in 3 spots, because it doesn't have to be fully welded. And then I always use a cork gasket, and then I weather strip the gasket to the pan. And don't put any sealer on the other side. And you can reuse that many times, as long as you don't over tighten it. We got a transmission shop right down on the corner of my block. That's all they use is cork gaskets. So anytime I need a gasket, I go there and get one. Sean says, when I took off the pan, the valve and the cable pushes good, and the fluid was great. Next to no contamination either. Interesting. I know the servo on the side is what hits second gear, but you said it ain't shifting from first to second. Yeah, it's probably something with the servo. Either that or the band for second gear is the tab is half broken off. So on a 700 R4 for second gear, that little servo on the side, that plunger pushes on a band, and then the band is what makes it go to second gear. So I remember that. So it's on the passenger side of the vehicle. There's a big round thing of like 3 3/4 inches. There's a cover with a big snap ring, and you can change that servo and pin. Because on my Firebird outside, I put a Corvette servo in that one. So you put a Corvette servo in it, the pistons got more. It's bigger. So when the fluid pushes on it, it hits harder, and you can get we call it second gear scratch. So it chirps the tires when you shift a second. So another problem, Sean says, and if I put it directly from park into first, it hears the truck a bit. Not sure what that means. Put it directly from park into first, it hears the truck a bit. Good to know. I didn't know that. I'll check that one because I checked my Governor Teflon gear and the valves in there, and it wasn't sticking, so that was good. Oh, jerks. So if you put it directly from park to first, it jerks. Yeah, I'm thinking that your band, where their servo rod pushes on the band, like maybe that's half broke off the band. So it's not too bad. Not too bad to pull that transmission out, pull the pump out. You got to take the pan off, and you got to take the solenoid or some stuff. There's some stuff you got to take out of the pump right there, and then the whole thing will slide apart. You get to that band, put a new band in it. I have some bands. They're out in my shed. Whole bunch of parts for some 700 R4s. And then the 4L60, like JD is working on, that's just the electronic version of a 700 R4. So it shifts electronically, and then the 700 R4 didn't have the electronic on it. Yeah, I bet there's a problem with the band, especially if your fluid is good and clean, and it was good and clean. That means something happened to the band. Yeah, I got a 98 with a 4L60. Yeah, the 4L60 was the same as the 700 R4, except they switched to that's what the 4L60 was when they went to electronic. Hopefully I'm right on that one. So what else did I do? So I worked on the RV on, what was it, Monday? One of the days we didn't, although that was last week. I built the controller. But anyways, I got the controller on. I think we did that on Sunday. So it's all installed on there, and it's working. So here's a picture of it, the little board I made with the relay back there. And then it's all wired in. I went and got a little extension cord. And then I just split that extension cord open, the black wire, and I split that with the relay. But anyways, as soon as it hits like 11.4 volts inside, this kicks on the charger, which is right underneath this blue inverter. And then the inverter kicks over to shore power, so everything's powered on shore power and the charger's on. The only problem I found is that the charger has 3 modes of charging. And one of the modes is a float mode, which it can only accomplish 13.2 volts. So, but then in the morning when the solar panels kick on, it'll, with the charger on and the solar panels, it will automatically go to 13.5 and switch back over to the batteries. All right, I'm gonna catch up on my comments here. So yeah, Sean says he's got a 98 with a 4L60. Sensors took place of the TV cable. Yup. Oh, he gave me a subscription. Awesome, thanks, man. I'm gonna go. Do you got a YouTube channel there, Sean? I'm just gonna check it out. No, so you don't have a channel. If you had a channel, I'd subscribe back to you. So thanks, man. Yeah, JD is very smart. Leisure's very smart. We got a couple other guys that come on here are really smart about cars. So it's something with the servo, I think you got going on there. Yeah, I just checked it out. Maybe someday you'll get a channel, huh? It took me 10 years to decide to get my channel up and going. Before I did it, I was thinking about it for 10 years before I did anything. And then it was kind of slow going at first, and Leisha's been there a long time. So shout out to Leisure. He's a really good commenter too. I like all his comments. Oh, so here, yeah, I forgot to show you the fabric tape I got. It's like $4 and I can't remember, $4.75 a roll, but I bought 5 rolls. It's a wire loom tape, and it's the fabric stuff like Ford uses. So Sean says, I had a 13 OBS Chevy trucks, but this 1992 is my first one with the 700 R4. So you bought an older one. Once I get my big boat, we're going to be adding boat motors. Well, you know what Leisure said about boats? Break out another 1,000. But here, I bought Michelle and me a phone charger, solar panel phone charger. So my phone was at 60% the other day. I put it out on the hood of my pickup. It took an hour to put it to full charge. But Michelle, she just hangs hers out the window on the RV. But she wasn't getting full sun. Plus, her phone's on all the time when she's in there. But anyways, I thought it would be kind of cool if we went out to the beach or something. We could have this, and it's not a rigid solar panel, but it's not completely flexible. It's just semi-flexible. And then it's got a USB-C port cord on it. But I thought that was pretty cool. They came in a 2-pack on Amazon. All right, let me get back to the comments. Michelle says, once I get my big boat, we're going to be adding boat motors. I don't know what she means by that, but Sean says, I'm 25 from Canada, about 20 minutes above Minnesota. That's cool. I'm gonna add you to my little list. So if you come back on again, I'll remember. It takes me a while to remember everybody. I think eventually I get it pretty good. Sean, do you know Too Quick to See, he's in Canada. And JD, he's in Nova Scotia, Canada. So we got two Canadians on here tonight. Noons Racing. Hey, what's up, man? How's it going? How was your day today? "20 minutes above Minnesota." That's pretty cool. My family, Michelle says, my family have quite a few islands on the Lake of Woods and Kenora. I got another fly. It's bothering me. I think there's 2 of them. Let me see. Did I write down who Noons Racing was? Noons Racing 12. I think you've been here before, right? Need more folk like you on the internet, man. I get tired of seeing the same weird things on the internet these days. You're a good man. Well, thank you. Thank you. I just try not to be like everybody else. I'm not very good at my videos, but I just try not to be like everybody else. And I think I'm going to switch it up. My short videos I'm going to do at the end of the day when the car's already done, and then I can explain everything I did to a certain vehicle, how I struggled or not struggled, and show you that I got it done. So I might switch it up. Yeah, Noons Racing, but I don't think you told me where you were from. So Zayas plays opinions on working with older Mercedes cars, especially with the W124. I can't give you an opinion on that because I've only worked on one Mercedes. It was an older one, and it was a V12. But that was such a long time ago, I don't remember anything about it. So sorry, dude. Of course, Shane. Hey, how you doing? I checked up on some of your videos, man. I'm going to subscribe to your channel. 141 subscribers you got. Noons Racing for now. Well, I'm going to check out some of your videos later on. Everybody's got a video on Valvoline Restore and Protect, I'm telling you. I've never used it. Excuse me. All right, I got to get back so I can see what people are commenting on. So in Canada, you guys have the Michelin Cross Climate 3 tires. Well, that'd be a question for Noons Racing, or no, that'd be a question for JD. Corshane says he's doing pretty good. Pete, how have you been? I've been doing really good, and I've been staying on schedule. 100%, man. I'm on schedule. I don't know how tomorrow's going to go. I should be able to get that rack and pinion done, and this brake hose, and the oil change on the Ranger, hopefully. Hanging in there. And then Michelle hopes that Leisure's not caught up on something. Leisure said he's hanging in there, so hopefully he's probably tired. My hot water bottle for my sore back. Leisure's got a sore back, man. I'm sorry to hear that. My back, about once a year, I'll have a problem. But other than that, my back is pretty good. Sean says, I got to hit the hay, man. But I'll be back next time. Good to meet you guys. Yeah, nice to be here. Thanks for coming. And I got you from Canada. So, yeah. I don't care about CC3, but I've seen CC2. Oh, you must be talking about the Mercedes. What question was asked about it though? Mercedes W124. And then JD says, I don't know about CC3, but I've seen CC2. Oil changes on time is definitely number one. Yeah. Around here, I don't like to see them over. Not anymore. It ain't like the older days. You could go over on the older cars, not on these new ones. So, no, I'm in Minnesota, but Too Quick to See is on. He's in Ontario, but I don't know if you know that guy. But he hangs out on here once in a while, and he does a lot of live streams. But JD Peekaboo is in Nova Scotia, Canada. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I said. I figured it out. Corshane, yeah, I wanted to stop in. I haven't talked to you guys in a few days. Well, that's great for you coming here. I hope you're feeling okay. And looks like you're busy in the shop. And I seen some of your videos on the body work. It looks like you're a body man. Good one too, huh? Noons, Pete, and Iron South. Yeah, we're in Southeast Minnesota. Noons Racing 12. What I've seen, Mercedes and anything German is a mission to work. Yeah, yeah. Leisure's in Connecticut. Corshane, where are you from, Corshane? You're on the east somewhere. Let me look up and see if I got you in here. Is it you're in Maine? Steve Coating, check the muffler bearing. Yeah, I would check to make sure it's got the blinker fluid in there too. Of course, oh yeah, I've been doing a lot of body work this year. Yeah, I noticed that. So you're a body man and a mechanic and a technician? Noon's racing on nice. I hope it's not crazy on your guys' side where you guys are at with the protests. So I don't know of any protests. Yeah, there's no protests going around. Maybe Michelle knows of a protest, but I don't know of any around here. You have nice hair, Michelle. I don't know how he would know how Michelle has nice hair, but I can put a picture of her up here. Of course, Shane, yeah, I do it all. No job too big or too small for me. Yeah, that's a good motto and a good attitude to have. Yeah, we don't have any protesting. Who said the protest? Yeah, Corshane's in Maine. That's what I thought. I'm just gonna make a note of that. So we got Canada and the East Coast covered. Rob's not on here yet, but he's in Pennsylvania. Well, yeah, let me see where the protesting comment. Who said that? Oh, Noon's Racing. Yeah, we're in a pretty small town, a couple thousand people. We're next to some bigger towns. We're about just under 2 hours away from Minneapolis, St. Paul. Pup's hair. She says thank you. Oh, we're talking about Daisy's hair. Yeah, we had Daisy up here. The Daisy dog. Steve Coding is in Missouri. What do you do? What do you do in Missouri, Steve? Uh, Timmy, Timmy knows everything. Timmy does everything. He's in Louisiana. He was just down here. Of course, Shane, they have a lot of history. Some towns. Yeah. So JD lives in a smaller town like I do. Then he's in Nova Scotia, Canada. I keep saying that, but just in case somebody didn't hear me. Daniel Roy, hey, how you doing, Daniel? Yeah, that's Daisy. Daisy was doing some rodeoing today on this live stream. You'll have to rewind it. And then Michelle, I'm having a hard time finding Michelle's picture, but I'm gonna put Michelle up here. Michelle said she was gonna host a live stream tonight, but I don't know what happened to her. Almost sounds like I can hear a big cam engine outside. Oh, retired tree climber. Why would, are you a climber that climbs the tree just to climb it, or are you a climber that brings your chainsaw up there and then cuts it down? Or are you a climber that does biological research on trees? I need more information. All right, there's Michelle. Yeah, Daisy was doing some rodeo. Daisy went inside with Michelle right now, so she's not out here. That's the only picture I can find, Michelle. I can't find any more. There's 289 pictures on here, Michelle. I can't find any other pictures. Daisy is just over 3 years old. Cavalier Taylor, 1293. Yeah, Michelle's really friendly, actually. I'll find another picture. So there's the thing about living in a small town for me. I do quite a drive to make it to the nearest city, Chicago. So I have to ask, what's the tire you recommend for driving the Midwest all year? Oh, I always put the cheapest tires on, but probably a Michelin. I'm looking for another picture. Why does it seem like my pictures are just skipping on me? Oh, here's Michelle. Cavalier, Calvert Taylor. How you doing? The bird is the word, Leisure says. That's good. Oh, I see. Good pick. Okay, yeah. Okay. Oh wow, that's a nice ride. Yeah, that's the modified. We're gonna get it going again. So yeah, this picture I got kind of blown up, but here it is when it was before I raced it the last year. Nope, I ran Kendall when it was the old stuff when it was green, and then I switched to Castrol. But Royal Purple, I think that stuff was too expensive for me. Trim and top trees. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I had a guy come to my house and he climbed some trees and trimmed them up for me. So you're one of those guys. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Timmy does everything. He's in Louisiana. He's a race car driver. And he asked Michelle, "Did you race in the car against me, or who do you think will win?" Well, Timmy, I think you will win because she has no experience. But she's going to tell you that she's going to whop on you. This has got a 406 Chevy full roller methanol burner. I have a picture of the bottom end. I'm just trying to find it. Yeah, it's way towards the bottom here. Mod bottom end. I don't know why I got the engine out of here, but I took it out. Doing some kind of inspection on it because it didn't blow up. It's still running. Still got the same bearings in it. I built it myself. It's got scat crank, scat rods, Calais main caps, SRP pistons. It's 13.8 to 1 compression. I was running methanol, but we just switched it to E85 just last year. I got some videos of it up on YouTube. Chevy man, my man. You know, no, I like Fords too. Love GM. Nothing in the teens or newer. L87 is garbage. Yeah, they're not making them. They're only making them the last 5 years now. I'm just finishing my cigarette, so I'll be ready to come back on in just a minute. Noons Racing, gotta go. I'll try to catch you on the next. Everyone, take it easy. Well, thanks for coming, Noons Racing. Glad to have you here. I'm glad to find out I could find out just a little bit more about you. Steve Coding, I have an F-150 Supercharge. Yeah, I want to get that new sleeper truck with the 5.0 supercharged. That thing is pretty wild, I hear. Can't afford it yet though. So Leisure, where's Leisure's race car? Got to put that up. And I got it way expanded out. It's an asphalt modified. M Leisure 1230, that's his car. Josh Holman, new cars are garbage regardless of who makes them. That's a true statement. So, yep. Steve Coding, 156 miles an hour. What were you going 156 miles an hour in? I got a 2009 Vet with 30,000 K miles. Got the LS3. Yeah, I believe that car will do that and more. I had a 1987 Corvette. I don't know where the picture is, but I did 143 just going past the quarter mile like I did a 3/4 mile. Here's the back. I made that decal. Where's the picture of the Vet? Timmy does everything. Michelle, to keep a race car engine from blowing up, you need to manage heat, maintain oil pressure, and use high octane fuel to prevent destructive internal knocking. Cavalier Taylor, dealer offered me 15K. I left. Oh, here's my Vet at Walmart. Another Vet parked beside me. I'm the one with the glowing plate. I got a better picture. I'm just trying to find it. Here it is. Look at that baby. That's my Corvette. Or used to be. think I missed the fly. I missed it. I haven't seen the attitude adjuster lately for a while, Leisure, so hopefully she lost it. Yeah, that they offered you way too low if the blue book is 18 to 21. Yeah, these are actually replica wheels, but I had to get the replicas because this particular year had a different offset. Yeah, I did a lot of work to this car. I took the heads off, planed them down, put stainless steel undercut valves in it, ported them, ported the TPI, put a bigger throttle body on it. I put headers on it, pace setter headers. I put a whole what kind of exhaust did I put on there? I got rid of all the cats, got a Y pipe, Flowmaster exhaust. It's got the SLP air scoop for the front. That really helps. Yeah, I just love those wheels, and I couldn't afford the car or the newer Corvette that they came on, so just had to get them for mine. I just done a ton of stuff to this car. I upgraded the computer. I could tune this car. I got all the stuff to tune this car. I still have it. I just need the one cable to hook to my laptop because when I sold the car, I sold them that cable. I made my own EPROMs. Flow disaster. I got to write that one down too, Leisure. You're coming up with them tonight. Someday we'll have a live stream just talking about Leisure's. I lost the page to write them down. Oh, here it is. Timmy does everything. Says, Michelle, you see that the picture, that would be a great race car. Yeah, this is a great race car for road course racing on asphalt. Leisure's Punts. Yeah, that's what we could name it. Leisure will be the star of the show. We'll have to figure out a way to put Leisure on by the telephone or something. That would be a good theme for a live stream. Set my 79 Monte Carlo. I sold this car too. I want it back. Is all original from Texas with no rust. This would make Timmy. This would make a good race car right here. Actually, I have race cars that I built like this car, but this one was too nice to turn into a race car. I put interior out of a 1984. I redid the engine, transmission, and differential. The engine, I guaranteed the guy that it was impossible to blow up. You could hold that engine right to the floor, and it would run out of the CFM to spin any faster, and it wouldn't blow up. I side clearanced the rods in it, and I did a whole bunch of work on that engine so it would not blow up. Well, Amane, I knew you were a GM guy. Yeah, I love this car. This one actually had a 305. It's a 1979. It had a turbo 350 transmission, 7.5 10-volt rear end. Yeah, I used to have the nickname Silverado Man. What else can I show you? My Firebird. So yeah, I should have put this picture up when we were talking about 700 R4s, because this car has a 700 R4, and I got this car back at the lot. We got to get her back going, and I sold it to my brother, and he brought it back here so we could get it going again. Yeah, I would take the 601 305 heads and put them on a 350 after they're ported out. After I ported them, I can still have a couple sets of 601 heads laying around somewhere. My race car hauler. Oh, I know what picture I was looking for. Timmy wants to define an engine, a 350. So a 350 CID engine is a V8 internal combustion engine with a total piston displacement of 350 cubic inches, which equals about 5.7 liters. Yeah, I know what car I was looking. This is my 79 Monte Carlo race car, but it's not the 79 Monte Carlo that I had in the other picture. This was a pure stock. I wanna race in this car. Yeah, they don't make them like these cars anymore because these cars lasted. They lost so much. The way they figure it is they lost so much money with the 350 small block Chevy and the SB1 design, and then the cars that lasted forever. And I'm telling you though, that I think they lost a lot of customers and they lost all faith in everybody nowadays. Yeah, I don't know how you got all that on the top of your head, Timmy. You're pretty smart. All right, get back onto me. I think I found it. It's right here. Yeah, so I back in the day I was all Chevy, and then well, first I was all Ford because I seen Bob Chandler with Bigfoot live, and I'm like, man, I'm a Ford guy. So then a little bit later on, I was so interested in monster trucks, I kept going, but the Chevys kept beating the Fords. So then I turned to Chevy for the longest time, and I raced Chevy stock cars and everything. And then about 3 years ago, I bought my 2008 F-150, and I just love that truck. It never breaks down. It's completely reliable. I'll put a picture of it on here. And then lately, I work on a lot of Fords. Ford puts a supper on the table, food on the table. My Ford dealer slip folder is pretty big. But I don't. Here's my truck. So that's in the parade. We took the F-150 in the parade. I just love this Ford truck. It's unstoppable. It rides really nice. But don't get me wrong, I still like Chevys. I still like Mopar. I don't know what my favorite foreign cars. Maybe Hondas are good. Toyotas are good. Here's my truck in action. I'm at the landfill on a service call. I'm working on a magnet excavator. Yeah, look at the size of that magnet to my truck. That is crazy. Tim or Calvert says Timmy's Googling everything, Pete. Timmy does everything. Yeah, I've been racing for years. Yeah, he's a race car driver in Louisiana. Go check out his channel. No, my truck has the 4.6 liter a 3 valve, so it doesn't have the phasers. I have changed the spark plugs in it. They didn't break off. They're not the kind that break off. The 5.4, maybe it's the 5.4 3 valve. Maybe mine's a 2 valve. Mine's a 2 valve. The 5.4 3 valve is the one that breaks off the spark plugs. And I that's one tool I got to buy. I haven't bought the tool to get them out. So if I get one of those in here for spark plugs and it feels to me like they could break off, I stop what I'm doing. I get on the horn to my customer and I tell them the scenario. And they always tell me to stop. So I haven't bought the tool to remove them spark plugs if they break off, which I should. I'm going to. So I just if I get one in here and they're stuck, I feel like it might break off. I call my customer. I tell them the scenario of what could happen. I actually tell my customer the scenario beforehand. So we go over it, and my customer all the time they've told me, because these trucks are old. They're like, if it feels like it's going to break off, just stop what you're doing, leave it in there. Unless the spark plug is actually bad, then I got to do it. But I haven't ran into that scenario yet. Oh, I got you. Triton. Yeah, it's a Triton 4.6 F-150. Mine's a 2008. Timmy does everything. I've been racing for years, and when the late models used to be called sportsmen's. Yeah, that's quite a few years ago. We went out to the races a couple weeks ago. Here's our RMC hobby stocks. Yeah, we went out to the track. Michelle says, I have a 2001 Ford Expedition Edenbauer 5.4 Triton. Everything original, 330K, 1,000 miles, just needs exhaust manifolds fixed. Yeah, I got to do it. I can handle it though, Michelle. I just got to have the free time. We don't have very much free time, and we're trying to get ready to go on vacation. We still have to get the reception room done before we go on vacation. If you ain't first, you're last. Well, I don't get to work on my cars until Sunday. And lately, if we got to do an oil change on one of our cars, we do it on Sunday. And then we're trying to get the RV ready to go for a vacation to Florida. So we've been using Sundays to work on that. And we just figured out we got to change the oil in the RV. It's got the 6.8 liter Triton V10. It's a 1999. 48,000 miles on it. Yeah, I got the Impala. I got to fix Michelle's Impala. The rear struts are completely shot. The sway bar links are shot. One or two of the engine mounts are completely shot. So I got to get that done. I drive it anyways, but Timmy does everything. If you remember right, hobby stock used to be called Bomber Class. Yeah, I don't remember that, but we had pure stocks, street stocks for Wasota, and then IMCA had the hobby stocks and stock cars. That's about as far back as I remember. So Timmy's probably just a little bit older than me, because I don't remember that. So what else do we got going on here? So let me look at the schedule and see what I forgot to talk about. So we've been doing a lot of the services, like transmission services, differential services, PTU services. We've been doing a lot of those services lately, so that's good. I'm keeping everybody's car up to par. So we only had 4 oil changes last Saturday, but I did the '96 Chevy. That's what I did. I did the water pump and the master cylinder, and then I did the differential cover on Sunday. Wheel bearings. We're doing a lot of wheel bearings. We've done a lot of wheel bearings. I bought a tool to do wheel bearings, and it works really good. I've used it a couple times. Brake jobs. We're doing a lot of brake jobs. I get a lot of gravy in here. Wheel bearing hub puller. Yeah, I bought one of these tools, and I got something to say about it here. I guess got to make her a little bit smaller. So this tool, I bought the one that has the open a slider. There is another version of this tool that the slider nut that slides into that slide is encapsulated. You can't take it out. So I got the one so I could get the maximum reach if I had to. And so far, it's pulled the wheel bearings out without bending anything. So I'm so happy I have the tool. So far, my life has gotten easier. This last weekend, I was so happy with my life that I'm just living the best life ever. Timmy does everything. A year ago, our local track hobby stock used to call bomber class. Yeah, maybe your classes are just different down there. I bought the coolant flush gun from Mac. He hasn't stopped back again yet. So it's going to be heater core flushing season soon. I didn't have one of these, so I bought one. Finally bought it. Can't remember. One of the guys said this might be the Astro one, just relabeled as a Mac. Oh, I made a memory saver because it's going to be battery season now too. Plugs into your OBD port, and then keeps when you unhook the battery, this will keep all your radio stations. And Mac guys tend to disappear. I'm wondering if that's right. Because he was due to be stopping back here. And I bought that coolant flush gun. I paid him for it fully, so he doesn't have to come back here. I don't see why he wouldn't, but I think, like Leisure says, Mac guys tend to disappear, which they do. I like Mac tools. I got some USA Mac tools, and I love them. Timmy does everything, says hobby stocks generally allow larger engines and slightly more performance modifications than bombers. Yeah, that's all. Like, all the classes work their way up. Mako hasn't come back since I sent him on his way. That's fine with me. Hopefully he's not watching this live stream. But it seems like his tools are so expensive. They're made in China. I don't know. Leisure said he had a lot of Mac tools. Yeah. I don't have a lot, but what I do have, I cherish, and they're always good. I have the whole spark plug socket set. I use that all the time. It's got the long ones, the short ones, the wobble ones, 9/16. It's got all the sizes. Mako hasn't impressed me. Not me either. I do have one tool. I'm going to go pick it out. I'm going to go grab a couple tools. Actually, I'm taking you guys with me. Well, let's go check out one of my Mako tools that I like. So this baby is Mako. This is a weight. You're not going to be able to see it right there. It's the best quarter-inch flex driver I've ever used. I do have a Craftsman one somewhere, flex driver one. And the Craftsman one is very, very stiff. Just checking to see if it's over here. No, it's not up here. I don't know where the Craftsman one is, but I have one. USA Craftsman. And then let's go over here. Yeah, the new brake cleaner I got. This stuff, do not buy. Got it on Amazon. This stuff, if you get this stuff, get it. It's good. It's the same as this stuff. These two, I feel like the best brake cleaners I've ever used. I want to go here. So here. This is my spark plug socket set, and that is awesome. And Mac tools are the only ones that work like this. For some reason, the ground that they got in there holds the power function. The Snap-on ones and all the other guys, the plugs will work. So you gotta be careful. But the Mac tool one, we do not work. I haven't even got my see if the best tool. I'll do that. Show you. Here's dedication for you. I've been doing this for about $2 now. Saving all the flat changes that we require to the last. Oh, I can't. I got some on my face. My cell phone is going off. So I'm gonna go. I gotta go see what's going on here. Looks like Michelle is texting me. Let her see what she wants. Let her see what she wants. Oh, my phone. My phone and my computer have both not been working the greatest. Oh, my microphone. I didn't have my microphone. Well, we probably got to go do that all over again. All right. I'll just grab the whole stand. Yeah, you guys seen it. So that's a Mako. I'm just going to put the microphone on here. So the Mako, I got to hold it in the light just right. But it's a Mako. There. Got it upside down though. I got to put my whole hand on it like Jeff does. Now I can't focus it. Yeah, Mako, USA. This is the best little flex driver. And then we were coming over here. Yeah, the brake cleaner. So that's what. This brake cleaner I got on Amazon, I'm not impressed at all. But this brake cleaner is really good. Equal to this one, and I feel this is the best brake cleaner. Leisure wanted me to get some stuff, but I can't get that here where I'm at. Can't remember what number, but I got these two numbers, but I don't like those two as much. And then, yeah, the spark plug sockets. So yeah, I got to explain about the spark plug sockets. So these Mac sockets will not break spark plugs. But the snap-on ones will, and the Matco ones will break your spark plugs. But these don't. These hold on to the plugs really nicely. I've never broke a spark plug with a Mac socket. I was just looking for USA, but these are USA. I like Mac. I ain't got the whole set, but I just got the ones I need. We'll grab the ones for the Ford dry shaft, 12 point. So these Mac sockets here I like the best. Mac USA. Leisure. It's probably I need a beer. Yeah, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's my it's my ringtone for my other phone, or the message. It's for the messages, notifications. Leisure said I had a lot of Matco tools. They used to be made in the U.S. Yeah, the ones that are made in the U.S. I don't mind. That's old Matco. Yeah, I love the Star Trek every night. It's on H&I. The one I like right now is the Enterprise, but it's called Star Trek Enterprise. But I like the Next Generation. Captain John Luke Picard is Next Generation. Timmy does everything, says Michelle. I've been around racing my whole life. Well, Legend car class used to be called dwarf cars. Yeah, we used to have dwarf cars up here, but too many people died. Michelle calls Star Trek soft porn. Yeah, well, I had it off because Michelle said, do not have the microphone on if you're eating because it's too close to my throat. So yeah, I like to talk about tools and cars, how to fix cars anyways. Michelle, give me a call. Let them hear what my ringtone sounds like. The last time she did this, she got mad because I didn't answer, but I'm not going to answer this time either. I'm going to write that down. Denko brake cleaner. I haven't tried that. The one brake cleaner, the one number that you told me to get, Leisure, they don't have that number here. And then, yeah, this is it's the A-Team. So Calvert says, I've been trying to get rid of my vet. If I had a lift like that one behind you, I'd keep it. It's very low to the ground. Yeah, you want to know when I had my vet? I got to show you. I bought this lift just for my vet before I started my shop. This is at the house still. There's the vet beside it. But that lift shipped to my door. I bought it on eBay, Mayflower. But that lift shipped to my door was $2,300, so pretty cheap. And it's still in my garage right now. I've been the modified is up on it for storage right now. Right here. So the modified's up on the lift at home right now. Recent picture right here. So I don't know what this lift goes for now, but I think it's just a little more. I think it's around $2,800. And then I'm always so proud of my skid plate. So that's like a 9-quart oil pan, and then I welded a 1/8-inch plate on the bottom. Because I always was getting my oil pan smashed. My car rides really low in the front. I tried raising the front end ride height. I didn't like how it drives. Michelle says, I like Star Trek. I'm interested in space and futuristic stories. Well, I think one of the best movies I've seen was Interstellar. And then the other one, where the guys go to Mars. Those two are very realistic. What was the Mars movie? Martian. The Martian and Interstellar are some very good movies. Yeah, the A-Team. So I've had that for a while because when people call me, man, they're calling me for information or to get something fixed. Yeah, The Martian. Yeah, I love that movie, The Martian. I like Interstellar. That's a good one. I like Insurrection too, as far as Star Trek goes. Insurrection is a good one. I always I have all the old Star Trek uh movies. The Voyage Home, that's a good one. How I showed Michelle that one, and she never seen The Voyage Home, and she liked it. Mr. T is my favorite from the A-Team. I liked Murdoch. I liked Murdoch. I'll put myself back on. I like Murdoch. Always, he was always so crazy. I liked him. JD said he went to the theater to watch The Martian. That would have been cool as shit because I only seen it on TV after it came out on DVD. But I went to watch Interstellar at the theater, and that was awesome. On Interstellar, when they are on the planet with the water, that big wave, listen to the clicking that represents a month passing. Yeah. Yeah, I've always been into time dilation. So we could travel. We could travel into the future, no problem. We just can't travel backwards. Holland Mad Murdoch, yep. I liked Hannibal too, I guess. I guess I liked them all. But I watched that show every day after school when I was younger. So I think we talked about this last time. I watched the A-Team, Airwolf, Knight Rider. Um, yeah, pretty crazy when you consider relativity. Yeah, I still think they're gonna figure it out. Hannibal. Oh, I watched Little House on the Prairie. What's the one with the? He was a bounty hunter. Leisure says Dark Justice. So bunch of shows back there when I was younger. Kit from Knight Rider. Yeah, so we just watched What was that, Michelle? We were watching. It was a TV show, and they were using the Kit's voice the other day, just 2 days ago. Yeah, I drove the van today. I took it home, and then I took it to go make a payment. I took it up to the gas station. Yeah, I love driving my van. I'm going to put a picture of the van up here. My mother used to go to church with him and his wife, LOL. Dog the Bounty Hunter. No, that's not the one I was thinking of. Leisure says the Waltons. Yeah, I watched the Waltons. But there was another like Bounty Hunter show on with like a brown Chevy truck. Family Ties. I watched Family Ties, but I didn't necessarily like it. That's just me. Parking lines. Not this picture. But we did put these parking lines out there in the drive or in the front of the shop. Everybody, they're working out so great. They work so good. People are using them. Fall Guy, that's what it was. Leisure's got it. The Fall Guy. I watched that one. Texas Ranger. Yeah, I liked Texas Ranger for a while, but then it got old. But then, yeah, Walker Texas Ranger. Yep. Watch those ones. I was just looking for the picture of my van. Simon and Simon. Yeah, I watched that. There was another one too that I liked even better. But I can't even describe it. Stingray. Leisure says Stingray. Some of these shows I did not watch. Haha, we all grew up watching the same awesome shows. Cavalier, Chuck Norris. That's what I was trying to think of. Yeah, when he died, I started watching that came on more often. So I started watching them some more. Never Meet Your Heroes. Yeah, that's probably sad for you. The Lone Timmy does everything, says the Lone Ranger. I think Timmy must be a lot older than me. How come I can't find my picture of my van? Well, here's one picture. Oh, it's right here. Yeah, now that we're in portrait mode, I have to make these pictures a little bit smaller. So I just drove this today. About time to get the plow back on it. Timmy does everything. It's 41, so you're quite a bit younger than me, but I don't remember some of them shows. Calvert Taylor, he was getting his makeup done. He was not happy to see me. Oh, okay. Oh, he didn't treat you very good. Yeah, sometimes that just happens. Well, like when I'm underneath the car or something and somebody comes in, I could have a little bad attitude too. Went backstage Dallas on the set for Texas Ranger. I don't think he wasn't very tall, was he? But he is good at martial arts, I think. There's still one more fly left in here. So I got Michelle now. She helps me out with the customers. And if I'm back working on something, she kindly, politely explains to the customer that Pete is working and he can't be bothered right now. And then as soon as I get to a point where I can break free, I will come out and talk to the customer. So that's been working out really good. And we got a new plan going to start after in November. All the customers are only going to be allowed into the reception area. And then I'll have to be paged if I need to come over to the reception area. So the reception area, I don't really have any pictures of that except for maybe outside. Let me find an outside picture. The Lone Ranger is a TV show aired for 80 seasons from 1949 to 1957. Yeah, no, I've seen the Lone Ranger. I like The Outer Limits was one show I liked, if you're talking about older ones. Yeah, I knew Michelle was special when the first time I seen her. Kind of forgot what picture I was looking for now. Oh yeah, the shop outside where Michelle's reception room was going to be. Yeah, I'm still here. Just hold on. I'm looking for the picture. Well, this is kind of the inside of Michelle's in just a little spot. Yeah, maybe this one. So that's one of the tables that's in Michelle's. That's going to be my reception area. And then she's going to sell like a pop and chips and granola bars. And this is going to be the reception for my customers. Coffee. We'll probably give away coffee, right, Michelle? Is it in this picture? Nope, you cannot see Michelle's in this picture. The picture I'm looking for is called Shop Outside. Here it is. So I'm going to make it bigger where we got to see it. So right there in front of that white pickup in the Ranger, that's going to be the reception area. There's a little side area to the shop. Leisure says you're 21, Michelle. I think she's 29. She's 29 every single year. My best wishes to both y'all. Y'all give me hope on how things are supposed to be. Yeah, we don't like the way the world's headed right now, especially with the cars. It is getting harder every single day. Yep, finally they raised my oil. This is crazy. We had to raise our price on the oil change this last week. I don't like the smell of coffee. I'll have to put a vent in there. Oil prices. So this is what our oil went up $1 a quart. We get the Napa oil. Went up $1 a quart right after the war. But now what is it, Michelle? It's gone up another $1 a quart. Yeah, I don't know if I'm saying your name right, but Calvert Taylor. Last week when me and Michelle went out, before we went to her apartment, we go out get like a sandwich or an appetizer and a couple beers, and Michelle has a drink. But anyway, somebody asked me something, and I said I'm living the best life ever. I told them I'm living my best life, and they're like, "What?" But yeah, they finally raised our oil prices. We did Yeah, I got that on the list, Leisure, to get a popcorn machine. We did have to go up a little bit on what we charge people for oil, just ever so slightly. We are not making anything. Yeah, it went up to 28.55 or something. Nobody's complained. We do tell everybody that, hey, oil's really fluctuating right now, and it seems to be fluctuating upward. I have not tried that Valvoline Restore and Protect yet, but I'm pretty sure that's probably way more than what I'm buying. Nobody's requested it. They're all happy with the Napa oil is made by Valvoline, so it's probably made by Ashland also. I've had good luck with the Napa oil. I don't use O'Reilly's oil. I don't use Parts Master oil. And I bought some STP to put in some lawnmowers. That's about it. I use, once in a while, I'll have customers request a Mobile One. I keep some of that. We do what we call a dealer oil change here, where we put in OE oil and filters. So if your car is under 80,000 miles, you get an OE oil change, where we do everything that's, I'll put in Motorcraft oil, I'll put in AC Delco oil, mostly for domestic stuff. I don't get too many newer foreign vehicles, so parts disaster. All right, which one is that for? What was I talking about? Because I want to write that down. Calvert Taylor, I've heard really good things about the Valvoline Restore and Protect. I'm just not brave enough not to use my Mobile One. Yep. I do have customers that want Mobile One, and so I keep it here for them. I got a guy that's got the old Chevys, the OBS Chevys. That's all they use is Mobile One full synthetic. Of course, I think that's all Mobile One is full synthetic. I don't have very much on hand right now. I don't think I have any on hand right now. When oil went up, I ain't gonna pay $10 more for Mobile One. It's probably $20 more for 5 quarts now. Yeah, we use all OE. Try to use all OE parts on the new vehicles. I just can't see even though the manufacturers are shit, their parts are still the best for the newer vehicles. I guess Mopar has redesigned their oil cooler for the Pentastar, so I have been putting those on. They're better. When they were bad, I would get the aftermarket ones for those, all like the Dorman one, but the Dorman ones were too much, so I got other ones on Amazon that I put on. They're the same thing as the Dorman one. Yes, sir. 300K on my 92 Chevy Z71, and it's running beautiful. I change the oil every 3,000 miles, no matter what. What? So you put Mobile One in that? That's great. That's awesome. So I got a couple customers that have them OBS Chevys, and that's all they put in. I guess for the last couple oil changes, they brought their own oil. So that's another thing my shop does. We put on customer supplied parts. We have no problem with that. I'm doing one tomorrow, a 2010 a Ford Fusion. I could not get the OE rack, and he said he couldn't afford to buy that one anyway. So it's electric power steering rack. So I told him, I said, I will put your aftermarket one on, but you got to buy it, and I'm not gonna warranty any labor when it goes out, because it probably will. So I'm doing that tomorrow. I got to put one in a 2010 Ford Fusion. I do have some good luck with Duralast belts. Some of the Duralast belts are made in the USA. Very happy about that. But some of them are not. So the Gates belts, I used to put on a lot of Gates belts, and then they switched to not being made in the USA, and they're no good anymore. Yep. So we are very, very. I'm a very stickler on oil changes. I have people that have the Traverses with the 3.6 GM engine in it. I have people that can only get 125,000 miles out of that engine because they slack on their oil changes. But I have other people that come in before 5,000 miles meticulously. They got 300,000 on their engines. So it's a lot. It's a lot with changing your oil. I don't think it matters 100% on what oil you use. Don't use a Fram filter, but anything but a Fram filter, just change your oil and your engine's going to last. So I've always been taught to fill my filters because I used to work on big trucks, on semis. We always filled the filters. Some of these engines have 3 great big oil filters on them. Some have great big, what's called a lubrifiner filter. It holds like 3 gallons. Anyways, I've always been taught to fill the filters, lube the filter gasket with brand new oil, not used oil. I have a set of oil change rules here. So if you're new to my shop, you come in here and help me do oil changes, you got to take these rules home and study them. So let me pull it up. I'll find it. The oil change rules. It doesn't look like they're here. So I gotta find this file. Recent files. It would have been a recent oil change instructions. It's called oil change instructions. So this is what you got to do if you're going to change oil at my shop. So when you bring the vehicle in, and we do all oil changes in Bay 2, where you drive it on the hoist, because we do get some rusted vehicles in here that can't be lifted up with a two-post hoist. Fram oil filters, I don't like them. They're too restrictive. They plug up too soon. That's why I don't like them. I do use a Fram racing filter on my race engines. It's the only filter I'll use is the racing filter. The Fram racing filter is like the second best racing filter made. So when we do oil changes, this is what I teach the young kids that come in to help me. So we'll bring the vehicle in. You bring the vehicle in. No, all warning lights on the dash, so they can be recorded on the invoice. Before you shut it off, beep your horn and have somebody come over and check all the lights. Check all exterior lights. Somebody will help you. Record the mileage. Pop the hood. Get out of the vehicle. Check for canister filter on the top. If so, loosen it. Don't take it off. Don't take the filter out, but loosen it so it can drain back into the oil pan. Lift the vehicle, loosen the oil filter, and drain the oil. Check tire pressure while the oil is draining. Also check all fluids, diffs, transfer case, and transmission. Visually inspect the brakes and the suspension. Fill new filter with oil and lube the gasket or seal with new oil. Remove the old oil filter. Check for stuck gasket. Install the drain plug. Make sure the drain plug gasket is intact. Install the oil filter to 3/4 of a turn. Install new O-ring if it's a canister style. Lower vehicle if canister filter, change it now. Remove oil cap, fill with new oil, and then install the cap. Refill the washer fluid, check all fluids, belts, and hoses. Wash hands. Before you get into the vehicle, wash hands. That's important. Start engine for 30 seconds. Reset oil life. Prep windshield for new reminder sticker. Install new sticker. Yeah, so if you got a bunch of old residue up there on your windshield where the reminder sticker was, we clean your windshield up there. Check oil level, top off as needed. Record the actual oil used. Close the hood. Back the vehicle out, bring keys in. So that's the oil change instructions if you're going to change oil here at my shop. So Calvert Taylor says, I feel them too, always have. Totally agree. Yeah, that's just something I was taught to do back in the day. You up in the Rust Belt? Yeah, we're in the Rust Belt. We're in Minnesota. They spray the brine. They have sand, salt, and brine. Michelle says, we serviced our own generator and motorhome, changed oil and filter. I found gas lines were leaking, so we replaced those. She runs a lot. She runs like butter now. Yeah, it's a lot better. And I don't smell any like rich fuel mixture anymore either. So I think we got her all fixed up. No, Michelle just helps me with like the paperwork and the customers. She's she used to be a bartender. She's not anymore. So she mixes me a drink once in a while. Here's some transmission fluid I did before and after a couple weeks ago. Look at the difference. Oh, I do got an interesting picture. We if your car's got over 80,000 miles on it, we will tend to use a Napa Performer oil filter. And the Napa rep was here, the oil filter rep, and he told me that the Napa Performer oil filters are good to 5,000 miles, and then the Napa Golds, which is on the right, they're good to 15,000 miles. But you could see the filter medium is thicker on the Performer filter than it is on the Gold. So that's the problem. Like if you use a Fram filter, they plug up too soon. Maybe if your engine oil is nice and clean and you got it nice and clean oil, maybe they won't plug up. But if your engine's older, my mom on her Ford Escort, we just changed the oil. We probably weren't changing it all the time like we supposed to. The engine had some carbon in it. Anyways, that filter plugged up. It was bypassing the filter, which starved some of the engine bearings, and it eventually wore the engine out, so she couldn't drive the car anymore. Calvert says, okay, bartender on something's. You ever get diesel trucks in your shop? I would want a diesel if I lived up north myself. So I don't like diesels, but the reason I don't like diesels is because I used to work on big trucks. But let me tell you, putting me back on, we do a lot of work on diesels here. And one thing about if you're up north and you got a diesel, you're going to have it plugged in. You're going to have to add a fuel. You should do this anyways, but you're going to have to add fuel additives so your fuel don't gel up. So you got to think about those two things if you're going to have a diesel. The other thing is the maintenance cost is so much more. So much more. If anything's over a 1,500 that comes into my shop, we have a different labor rate. The last diesel we had that came in for fuel filters and oil filters, I'm going to look this up, but it was just to make sure we didn't do anything else to it. But it was a lot. So this is a 2014 Ram 3500. We changed the oil. We changed the fuel filters. That's all we did. $549. So consider that over a gas truck that would probably be around 100. The oil was doubled in price for the oil we use for diesels, and the fuel filters are crazy. They're crazy amount of money for diesels for this Cummins, anyways. And we do things a lot cheaper than the other shops around here. But $3,500 the oil change, just for me to do the oil change, we only charge $35. We do check all the fluids, the tires, fill up the washer fluid. We do a complete inspection. I mean, that's all free no matter what vehicle you bring in, but we use Mopar oil filter on this one. All the Cummins, I'll use the Mopar Cummins oil filter. But yeah, that's something to consider. Yeah, diesels require a lot of maintenance. And like, say something goes wrong with your DEF or your C3P3 pump, you're talking thousands. My brother has a 6.7 Cummins in a service truck, and his fuel got contaminated. His C3P pump, or whatever you call that high pressure pump, it failed, and it sent debris into its injectors. And also, when it failed, he drove it home for a couple miles, and the two metal cylinders got so hot, he didn't think nothing of it until he got the engine back going again, and it dropped the valve. He's way over. He's around $15,000. Finally has it running again. Yeah, CP3. That's what I was trying to think. James, yeah, I forgot to say hi to James. James, how you doing? Are you feeling better? Did you get some sleep? I looked for your live stream. Now, are you done with live streams? Or are you going to start having them again? 6.7 power stroke. Leisure's going to call that a 6.7 power joke. I haven't done an oil change on a power stroke. I can't remember which one. No, I have done them, but it's been a while. And that was before everything went up. Yeah, I'll look and see. This is before the prices went up, though. I'll look and see what a power stroke oil change will cost here at my shop. I remember the guy. So let me type his name in. Calvert Taylor. I have a 95 F350 first gen 7.3 turbo diesel. That's the better one to have. Okay, I remember the guy's name. So let me see how much his last oil change was. And I can give you the date on this oil change. So this has a 6.7 power stroke. It's a 2014 F350, so it's the $35 labor oil change. We did not do fuel filters. So just an oil change. Well, he had 2 quarts of antifreeze. It was using a little antifreeze. So just an oil change. Oh, he had a drain plug. I had to put a new drain plug in it. So drain plug, 2 quarts of antifreeze. His oil change was $220.77. And that's before the prices of the oil like doubled. James says, I'm feeling good. Me and the wife went out on Sunday. Lives will start back on Sunday. Oh, that's good, because I miss your live streams. So yeah, if anybody's new here, Jeffro 2022 has live streams, usually every Sunday night at 6:30 Central Time. So go check out his channel, click on his name there and check out his channel and subscribe to it and come to the live streams. Meaden, how do I open a Tahoe car door? I locked my dad's keys inside the car. Well, I just get a long piece of 3/16 brake line and then use a plastic tool to pry open the door a little bit and slip it right in the top corner of the door and go straight down to the door lock and hit the power lock. I have a video on it if you want to see how I did it. So go to my channel and then lock keys in Chevy Tahoe. I actually have the lockout kit, but it's the same thing. Just get a piece of 3/16 brake line, hold the door out at the top of the window jamb. Don't pull it too much. Like, I usually only go out about a 1/2 inch, enough to sneak a piece of brake line through there, or my hardened wire lockout kit. And then I'll snake it down to the power lock switch and trip the switch. Mr. Leisure says, my Mr. Penny Pincher. I'm afraid prices are going to get worse, my friend. Stay the course. Yeah. When have you ever seen something go recess back down besides the housing market back in, what was that, 2008 or whatever? Yeah, so I got a video on how to unlock a Chevy Tahoe. Just go to my channel and then search the videos. There's a couple more ways you can do it, but that's the easiest way. Yeah, they know they can get that money out of us now, so they're not going to lower the prices back down to where they were. They're just not going to do it. Not going to happen. We're stuck with it. There's only a couple ways that prices can get lowered back down to where they were in today's world. Let's see, how else could you unlock the Tahoe? I wonder what year Tahoe it is. Depends what year it is. But they do make, you can go to Walmart or Harbor Freight, and you can get this little airbag thing, and you can squeeze that into the door jam, and it'll pry the door out far enough that you can stick a hardened piece of wire through there, or a piece of 3/16" brake line. And the other thing that works good too, go to Menards and you can get some of the plastic splitting wedges. So the airbags don't hold the pressure. So then you put a plastic splitting wedge in there, then that holds it out while you're trying to get the door unlocked. I have to go over to the gas station like once every 2 months to unlock somebody's car. So I'm getting better at it. Yep, ground beef. So you're in Texas. So ground beef is over $8 a pound. I'm not sure what ground beef is up here. I'm thinking it's dang close to that. It may be just a little bit cheaper if I remember. I'm just gonna take a note of Calvert Taylor 1293 that he's in Texas. If he ever comes back here again, I'll remember that. How's the temperature down there in Texas? Because what was it, Timmy? Last week it was 100 and it was in the hundreds, between 100 and 125. Yeah, remember the days of the Slim Jim? Yeah, I'm still trying to find. I have a couple Slim Jims. I have a foldable one I used to be able to keep in my pocket. But the lockout kits come with all that stuff in them still. Everything is going up, and minimum wage will go up eventually to cover the inflation. Well, that's why there is inflation. I subscribed. Well, thanks, Calvert. Did I look and see if you had a channel? Because I always like to subscribe back. You have 2 subscribers. Well, I'll just subscribe. That's a cool little motorcycle you got there. Now you got 3. Well, I don't think that's a little motorcycle. My friend has a Honda Hurricane and a Hayabusa. And he's crashed that Hayabusa twice now. $113 2 days ago, $107 today. Wow. So we're just in the mid-70s here right now. Leisure says Slim Jims they used to sell at gas station are as hard as a brake tubing. Yeah. Oh, it's a Ninja 400. Cool. Kawasaki Ninja. Yeah, one of my friends gave me a ride on a Kawasaki Ninja at 140. I didn't appreciate that very much. I was like banging them. Stop, slow down, let me off this thing. Oh, Wafoon's stock 94 Honda Grom is the best little motorcycle. What's a Honda Grom? I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm going on the internet. I'm gonna look that up. I'm going on Google. I have never seen that. It's a Honda Grom. It's just a little like moped bullet bike. Okay, that's pretty cool. I like it. What size are those? How come I'm not getting a? It's 124, 125cc. It's a 125 in Europe and East Asia. Okay, I want to go back. So WFANES stock 94. Where are you at? Leisure said he thinks Grom is a dirt bike. It's a 125 like what do you call it? Bullet bike. They're bullet bike styles. So it's a 125 like bullet bike, street bike, not a street bike, but a crotch rocket style. That's what I'm trying to say, crotch rocket style. Well, you're in Pennsylvania. Yeah, we got another guy in Pennsylvania, Rob Norton. He's in Pennsylvania, but he's not on tonight. Leisure's in Connecticut. Corshane was in Maine. JD Peekaboo is in Nova Scotia. Who else is on here been talking? Well, I'm just going to make a note of that. Wafa stock 94, Waffen stock. Well, I don't know. Waf in the stock. I'm going to make a note of you. If you ever come back out here again, at least I'll have something to reference to as to where you're from. Because my memory only has enough room in it to remember stuff about how to fix cars. And then Michelle's needs, whatever she needs. I got to remember everything Michelle says. Because if I don't remember whatever Michelle says, I'm in big trouble. And she has a paddle. And she's going to screw some sheetrock screws into it. And the spiked end is going to be what's hitting me. So we have live streams every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. And then this Thursday, we're on the short feed right now, but we'll be on the landscape. So long format. And then like if you guys have channels, I can put you up on the screen. I really can't put you guys up on the screen when we're on the short feed. There's not enough room for everybody to see what's going on. But thanks for coming. Okay, awesome. I'm gonna look at see. Yeah, I did. I did. I subscribed on yours. Nothing wrong with taking notes. See, I got two little notepads going on right here. I always have to take notes. Well, I do take notes every time I go to my classes, and the notes I have helped me tremendously. Like I got the first time I went to a GM programming class on how to use the MDI2, and the instructor was going so fast, but I made what do you call it, short notes, and I still use them short notes today of how to do everything and get logged in, get the thing connected to the car so I can program it. Yeah, I just programmed the computer. Was that a 2017, Michelle? 2017 Impala. right here. I just did that, a week and a half ago? And there I am walking out with the computer, but I was just finishing it up, just went on a test drive. I did not set all the monitors, so I did not complete a drive cycle, but I knew the car was fixed. The guy brought his own computer, brought a brand new AC Delco computer. I guess that's the only one you can get. But he tried to buy one pre-programmed and it did not work. But it worked enough that he knew that was the actual problem. So he sent that one back. They refunded his money. He went to Rock Auto and bought a brand new a GM computer, but he didn't have a way to program it. And he lived in my town, and he stopped by and he's just, can you program a GM computer? And I said, heck yeah. So this day I had gotten done around 4:30, and Michelle's like, what's that Impala out there? And I'm like, well, we just got to program the ECM and install it. Oh, well, get off your lazy butt and get out there and get that car done today. So she slave drive me a little bit, and we got it done that same day. And I called the customer back, and he goes, oh, I thought it was going to take you a couple of days, and because it's going to be a work-in. I'm like, well, Michelle slave drive me. She said I couldn't have a couple hours off, and I ended up just getting it done, and he was very, very happy. Pete always takes notes. We have a notepad right on the desk bench so we can write things down and go back if we needed. And then whenever I go to our classes, I always bring a notepad. Sometimes we'll get 10 people in the shop during the day, and it's always good to write down their information, what they need, and whatever. Yeah, especially their phone numbers. So, is the program required for anti-theft, interlock, or keys? Yes. I don't use my GM TechLine Connect for that. I just use my scanner. I got an X tool that can do keys and security. Oh, wrong screen. So yeah, I got an X tool that I bought just for key programming and security, IMMO. We do a lot of keys. I could cut laser keys. I could cut regular keys. I cut all the keys here too. So we got complete key and security lockout IMMO service here. Eventually, when I don't feel like working on cars anymore, I'm gonna do like key cutting and all that. I didn't do that. Oh yeah, but you're going to. You asked if we could put some screws in there, I think. Calvert Taylor, my F-350's horn started blaring in the middle of the night. Thought someone was breaking in. Turns out it was the anti-theft module that popped out of that popped the capacitor. Hard to find parts for that beast. Yeah, what year? You're gonna fix it yourself? What year did you say that truck was? A lot of the bigger truck. It must be fairly new. No, I guess it wouldn't have to be new, but some of the older, maybe I'm thinking of TPMS. I guess F-350s, yeah. Some of the F-350s do not have TPMS. It was a 95. So that's the security in that one is that a module you can take out of there, and then it's not potted or anything, and you can fix it yourself. It was for the new computer the customer put into the Impala. We do programming keys and anti-theft also. Yeah, I get some tough ones. I get some from the dealer. I had a 2020 Ford Transit, the full size one, a 350 Transit, and he got some keys cut at the dealer, but they couldn't program it. They wouldn't start the car. So he new keys. He still had an original one. He just wanted extra ones, but they could not get them to start the car. So he brought it here, and I did it in 10 minutes. I don't know what the dealer had the problem with. It's the same modules as the OJ Bronco. Yes, it's behind the bezel in the dash right below the glow plug light. Okay. Yeah, because they don't, it's all programmed into the BCM nowadays. And as far as I know, that stuff is really like epoxied and potted. Like you wouldn't be able to replace a capacitor. Plus, they're surface mount capacitors nowadays. So they're very small. Unless you're one of those guys that can do surface mount stuff, I cannot. I've tried to solder surface mount. I cannot do it. I do have a big magnifying glass over here where I solder stuff. Yeah, let's just go take a look. So this is where I built that last the smart board for the shore power for the RV. But yeah, I got a magnifying glass right here. The soldering gun's up there. Everything turns on with the power strip. But yeah, the tip of my soldering gun is just not small enough. Here's a board I'm working on for a microchip. Just an experimental board. I got a bag of capacitors right here if one of these will work. They're 50 volt 10 UF. And up here is just a bunch of boards that I make. Yeah, where's this one? We got to bring this one with us, Michelle. This is that's an ESP32, but this board latches onto any Wi-Fi network I have the password for, or any open Wi-Fi network that I have the password for, or that I don't need the password for, and then it transmits it out as Skynet. So that's my Skynet internet. Yeah, it can latch onto any open network or any one that I have added the password for. And then it retransmits that out as Skynet. And I just have the little antenna unhooked on it right now. But I do have some capacitors. So capacitors are up here, some here. They're just all over. More 50 volt 10 UF. Oops, one fell out. So there's just like a bunch of smaller ones in here. Oh boy. Yeah, this one fell out of there. I think there's some down here. Yeah, here's some little ones. Oh, here's a board I'm working on. This is for the magnet controllers. I'm doing a nano board. Oh, there's another. I have more capacitors somewhere. Oh, right up here. I don't know what these two boxes are, but bigger capacitors are up here. So here's some of the bigger ones. But yeah, I do a little bit of prototyping. Bringing this one with us on vacation, my T-beam. So I'm actually going to put the Skynet stuff onto this T-beam because this T-beam has a battery. Right now, I got it rigged up as a tracking device. So this latches on. Right now, this will latch on. If you turn it on, which the battery's probably dead, I can't turn it on, but it'll latch on to any open Wi-Fi network like McDonald's or any place like that, and then transmit you GPS coordinates to your email. My email. It transfers GPS coordinates to my email. All right, we're coming back. I'm coming back. It was from the new computer the customer put into the. Yeah, I read that one. 95. It's the same module. Yep. It's behind the bezel. Yep. I got all those. So not too many new comments. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nice setup. You got cooked the board along with the capacitor. Oh, you're just gonna replace the whole thing. I guess I can't disappear now. Well, I never used the tracking device on you. I'm gonna go grab a beer. It's about beer time. Yeah, see, I was trying to adjust this so the lights really shine into the camera. Yeah, so I'm gonna crack open a bush light. Beer light is on. Hell, it is 10:36, so I could have one or two before. Pretty soon, I got to go in and watch Star Trek Enterprise. But we got about 20 some minutes to go. I like to do around 3 hours. Beer 30. Yep, it's Miller time. I said beer 30 in one of my short videos the other day. Yeah, it was the one on the 96 Chevy where I was doing the differential cover. And then I got my shop coolie. It's all dirty. Can coolie. Yeah, that I'm gonna put up a poll. Okay. I'm gonna put up a poll. Is it a can coolie or is it a can koozie? So just hold on. I'm gonna create this poll. Okay, I think I got. Just wait. I gotta change this. And I'm not sure if I'm spelling this right. K-O. O-Z. All right, so there's two answers. Is it called a can coolie or cozy? So I'm gonna start the poll, and you guys let me know. So I'm old school. Back in my days, we called them coolies, and then they changed them to cozies. Yep, I do. The last board I did was for the motorhome. I made a board that switches. Let me show you. This is an Adreno Nano. You can see it there. There's the little prototype board. So that little prototype board and the Nano turn that relay on and off to voltage. So it turns the relay on at 11.5 volts, which then connects shore power to the motorhome. And then it turns that relay off at 13.5 volts and then goes, this inverter is a kind of automatic transfer switch. So then that automatically puts it back on the batteries. So I just did that, and we've been using it for the last couple of days, and it's been working. So there's the whole setup, and I just bought one of those it's a 12 gauge extension cord, and then I split the black wire at the relay. And then that board tells that relay to turn on at 11.5 volts, tells it to turn off at 13.5 volts. And if it's off, then there's no power getting to this inverter. And then this inverter automatically switches to the batteries. So if it has power going to it, then it bypasses the batteries and transfers the power to shore power. Coolie and cozies may be different. on location, north and south. Yeah, so I was trying to think of what I could do for a poll tonight, and thank you guys for bringing that one up. But we got a poll going on now, so I like to have like viewer interaction. I got a picture of this board too when I was making it, Calvert. Let me put it up here. So there it is. There's the board. And I'm not very good. I should have put my little trace wires on the top of the board, but I always put them on the bottom. And then here's the sketch code. So it took me a couple hours to code this out. Arduinos are super fun. I made a swamp cooler with a box fan, car battery, and the Arduino controlling the water pump intermediately. Yeah, it is. It's so fun. I even wrote my own book on how to code microchips, but I even go as far as making programs for. I have 4 apps on the Play Store that I've made, and I get paid for some of them. And then I do some Windows programming, but none of them are on any place where you could get them. And the apps on the Play Store I have right now are you'll only be able to see them if you have an older phone, because I haven't updated them for a couple years, and I'm in violation of the Play Store right now. What else? I gotta show them the thermostat that's at the house that I built many years ago. That's still controlling my furnace. Thermostat right here. So I built this. This is an actual Arduino underneath that prototype board. 2018. This has been running since 2018. Non-stop. It's powered by the furnace. And then I can set the hysteresis on when the furnace turns back on. And it's set at 5 degrees. Michelle does not like that thermostat. I tell you that. Calvert, Pete might not know what swamp cooler is. We don't have swamp coolers. Yeah, I think I know what it is. It's an air conditioner. I also made a night strobe with LEDs. Oh, totally nerded out. Yeah, I love doing stuff like that. Let me see. Can I make this bigger? So what is the thing at the top? Converts the AC voltage, because it's like 24 volts AC. Converts that AC voltage down to 5 volts and puts it out as DC. Okay, then the Arduino is behind the green board there. And then I have a little LCD. And then there's a toggle switch on the top that's not pictured right now, because I put a toggle switch on there to have home and away. Yeah, so I've upgraded it. There's a little toggle switch that goes up here on the top by the Pete's Smart Stat, a micro toggle switch, and that toggles from home to away, which cuts the temperature by 5 degrees. So if I put it on away, let's say it's set at 55, I flip the toggle switch when I leave the house, and it's now set at 50. This is before Arduinos, but I built some analog digital charge controllers. Some people are still using these. I think I'm still using one somewhere. Yeah, here's my board. So I designed the board, and then I had it made for me, pad to pad. I still have some of these left. I don't use this anymore. I have a new style that is so much more better. It uses 2 solid state relays. I don't have a picture of that one though. Yep, so I was doing research on that thermostat, and the research I said that nobody can make their own thermostat. So it's not standalone. It is standalone, but there's the other thermostat right beside it. Fail safe. So I got an old style thermostat and then my little homemade one. So what Michelle does is she just grabs this one and turns it up to like 80. Yep, they do not dehumidify. Portacool, I think, makes a lot of commercial style swamp coolers. Yeah, but see, Leisure, she just slides that button right over. And my house is very old. The records go back to 1856 on my house, so and it was there before that. The United States was the first one on record owning my house. Oh yeah, if you're in dry heat in the yeah, you're in Texas, so right. Yeah, if you're in Texas, a swamp cooler, that's I don't know if that would work good in the house, but it would work good in the garage or the shop or outside. So Portacool makes them like you can put them outside and just run them in the open. It might be an old Mercury thermostat. It was there when I bought the house, and God, when did I buy that house? 2008. No, no, I bought it before 2008. I can't remember. I got some software I made on Windows for my Windows computer. It's called LottoSoft, and it helps me predict the lottery numbers. It doesn't work good for Powerball or Mega Millions, but it works good for the smaller lotteries that we have, the state lotteries. But I don't have enough money to play the lottery anymore. When I was using the software all the time, I could break even and maybe make a few bucks, but now I run my own business. I don't have time to play the lottery. At the place where I used to work, let me put that picture up here. We recycled a lot of electronics, and I welded up some containers, or maybe not me, but somebody welded up some half-inch thick walled containers to store the mercury in, and then we sold the mercury. I used to build these starting units. I do some solar panels. I got this solar panel at the house that heats my water. It's a thermal solar panel. Then there's a dedicated hot water heater down in the basement, and I got 25 feet coil of copper into it. I cut the side open and then put a piece of 25 feet coil of copper in the bottom. And then this has antifreeze that runs through that copper that heats city water in the water heater. And it works really good. I just took a shower today. Hot. It wasn't that hot today, but it was hot enough to take a shower. It's been kind of cloudy out the last couple of days. Michelle does not like taking showers at the house because it seems like anytime she goes over there to take a shower, the water's cold. And I refuse to turn on the electric water heater. This saves me 2/3 off my water bill a year. It only takes a half a day to heat the water up. So if the solar panel is turned in the way it is right now, I made it so it could turn. This has been running. This has been running without maintenance since 2012. I'm trying to think what year I bought the house. Maybe it was 2008, and then I paid it off in 2018. But I want to build more of these thermal panels for the motorhome, but I can't find them anymore. So inside this panel, there's copper, that's copper tubing, like 3/4 along the top beam there, and then 1/2 inch copper, rigid copper that goes down, and them are big aluminum fins over the copper. It works so great. And then I TIG welded all the aluminum case frame, and then that's a big piece of glass I ordered from the hardware store. They cut it for me, and I hauled it in my car. They're like, "You're crazy. It's only 1/8 inch thick." But it's been hailed on and everything, and it's never broken. And then when I moved into that house, there was some clothesline poles, and that's the clothesline pole that was there. One of them. No, my house was definitely there before 1856. No, 1859. 1859 is when record keeping started in my town, in our area. But my house was before that, because I know this for a fact, because my grandpa told me that my house used to be the whorehouse in the Old West. And I know this because it went by the wagon trail that used to be here. So Calvert says, I lost my brand new 2007 house in 2008. You have a nice setup. Solar is the way to go. Yeah. Now solar is getting more popular, and I can get it here, but I don't have the money to upfront to put it on the roof right now, and I can't wire commercial property solar panels. I could do it, but it's not legal for me to do it. I'm not certified to do PV. It's really a cute house, but nothing I've ever lived in before. I'm happy with my motorhome, and my apartment is pretty nice too. Yeah, it used to be the brothel, and it had an outhouse in the garage when I moved there, but I found out later on that the outhouse was turned into the garage. So when I first moved in, I had to fill in the hole in the ground. And then we eventually tore down the old garage, and I built a new one. But I have the old garage, when they added on to the outhouse, was in 1924. I have a piece on that came off the roofing boards. They were sawmill cut boards, but somebody had carved into the top of the boards. I saved those boards. Well, here's the interesting for you guys. I built a little solar bike once, electric bike. Yep. And we just put in 2 new 8D batteries in the motorhome. I'll show you what we had. Not this one. Oh boy. I lost it. Here it is. So them are some of the batteries I had in the motorhome. Cell phone tower batteries. I had 4 of those in there. They're 147 pounds a piece. This is kind of going to be a mess. I kind of got to slide out. There's me putting in the 8D batteries. What was this, a couple weeks ago we put them batteries in because our cell phone tower batteries were getting bad. There's the old batteries piled up here on the floor. They're sitting right here right now. Napa will not take those as cores for the 8D batteries. Yeah, here are the 8D batteries. I got not the best with this OBS Studio, but there's the 8D batteries I got from Napa. So we put in 2 of those instead of the 4 cell phone tower batteries. The cell phone tower batteries are AGM, and they were just getting weak. They already been discarded. A guy, I bought them from a guy, or a guy gave them to me. He has a scrap yard, and he knew I was into this stuff, and he saved the batteries for me. He even brought them here for me. Yeah, so if I take these batteries to the where's the old batteries right here. So I can take these to the junkyard. We figured it out how much we'd get, and we'd only be $20 shy of the core price for the 8D batteries. Well, I guess I can see that. It's 100% for koozie. I like Cooley, and I get mad at Michelle if she calls it a cozy. This thing is the batteries actually still kind of work. What's the voltage right now, Michelle? She's running the TV, cell phone charger, the lights right now. Don't know what else she's running inside there. But yeah, we're just getting everything ready so we can go on vacation soon. Yep, I'm gonna end the poll so everybody could see. Well, I guess we could see that it's at 100%. Man, I'm wrong on everything. $11.8, so it's about ready. I think it trips at 11.4. It'll put it back onto shore power. All right, I ended the poll. I don't know where the results went because I don't see them. Usually puts the results up. Well, that's weird. We got the koozie got 100%. I didn't see how many people voted though. I don't know why it screwed up so bad. Oh well. Well, we tried. I tried. You can empty. Calvert says you can empty the sulfuric acid, rinse them out, use magnesium sulfate as water as an electrolyte. I can refurbish them myself. You're saying? Oh, there's the poll. It finally came up. 5 votes. 5 people voted. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I see it now. I can't vote though. It doesn't let me vote. So Michelle's running the big screen TV, running the lights, phone charger working right now. But it didn't get charged up all the it ran down this morning when I got up. It was 11.4 and it wasn't tripped out yet. So it never went to shore power and it still hasn't. So I'm guessing when I get in there and later on it's going to jump over and my little Adreno Nano relay is going to kick on. And then it goes on to shore power, which transfers all the AC stuff to AC off the shore. And then the battery charger kicks in, and that's a 60 amp battery charger. Which if you divide it out, 60 amps, that's only at full power, full charge, that's only 30 amps going to each battery. But when it is charging hard, that charger gets pretty hot. Yep, that's what I was using them for that. Maybe they would work great for a smaller setup because there's still some capacity left. They just weren't working for the RV setup. I got them sitting here still. They're worth $30 a piece scrap price right now. Maybe it'll go up. Connect in series to boost amps. So let's just, since we're talking about it, oh, here's let me put this picture up. So here's the inside of the RV. So I'm sure them accent lights are on up there. There's Michelle, by the way. She's sitting with the candle on the table. Yeah, it's still on the battery. So as soon as it gets to the trip point, which is like 11.4, it seems to be parallel. Yep, they're all in parallel. I had all 4 of those batteries in parallel. All right, so here's the solar panels. These are the 2 solar panels that charge them 8D batteries on top of the motorhome. This little solar panel charges the starting battery. Oh, thanks for coming, James. Everybody go check out Jeffro's Garage and Fab on YouTube. He's got a YouTube channel. It's pretty big, bigger than mine. And he has a live stream every Sunday night at 6:30 Central Time. And he likes to talk about tools and cars and everything like we do. So James is actually the one that has inspired my channel the most and inspired me to do these live streams a little bit. I'm thinking that, you know, it's a lot between Tuesday and Thursday to have enough content for these live streams, but I think we do pretty good. And now that I changed Thursday to 8 o'clock, I feel better about it because I'm not actually, my hours here at the shop are 8 to 8. So as long as the live stream starts after we're closed, I feel a lot better. Same series boost amps, parallel boost volts, right? I mean, yeah, you got it backwards. Series boost volts, and then parallel boost the amps. Yeah, good night. Have a good night. Good rest of the week, James. And I'll catch you on Sunday if I don't see you on Thursday. Nice to have you here. I'm glad your trip went good. We were thinking about you every night. Oh, I usually only catch the last half hour. Yeah, here's the batteries that were on the passenger side. Boxed in there. So the battery charger is right underneath this 3,500 watt automatic transfer switch inverter. And then we got this charge controller, which has been awesome. It's a 60 amp. Yeah, Michelle's watching Jimmy Fallon. Here we are. This is what we're going to do. We're going to pull the Jeep on the car trailer. And then I want to put a little bracket on the front to hold my motorcycle, but I kind of have second thoughts about that now. Yeah, that inverter really works. It can run the air conditioning if you got enough battery power. It can run the washing machine. It can run the microwave. We got a toaster oven in there. It can run all that for a limited amount of time until the batteries wear down. I built this can holder for Michelle. Each one of those holds a 12 pack. There's 2 of them. And then I just built her to store her bottles of water. So in the pantry that's beside the refrigerator, those things hold a whole case of water. And then that's what the pantry looks like closed. Daisy's dog food is down there. And then here it is open. Now, I'm not sure that we want all these in there, so they're not fastened in there very much. Yeah, it's a 60 amp charge controller. I don't know. Maybe it is 35. I'll have to look. So Michelle's been using this and she likes it, but we usually put all our canned goods in here and spices and all that. And then we got a new water heater because I didn't winterize the old water heater and it blew up, exploded from the freezing, left water in there. So we got this new on-demand one and it fit right in there. And now the old one was only like a 6-gallon. Like one person could only take a shower. But now we got the new one and we never run out of hot water. There's what it looks like on the outside. And there's a picture of it on the inside. Yeah, so we were just seeing Calvert, we just seen some videos of people that live in these RV cities and getting away from all the busy life. I'm interested, but I'm not ready to do that right now. Now, maybe when I retire, that would be a better plan. I think I got 15 more years to go. I'm going to be 53 here in a few days. So maybe when I retire, then that would be the perfect plan. And we bought this older RV, so if we wanted to do any modifications to it, I would not feel bad about doing modifications. Now, if we bought a newer RV, yeah, I would feel like let's not ruin it. Fail to plan, plan to fail. That's good advice. Yep, so just trying to think of what I was going to say. I was going to say something, but I can't remember. But we got off point just a little bit tonight, so it wasn't too bad. We did try to help a couple people, so that was nice. Had a nice little chat. Live stream. I had fun. So yeah, tomorrow I got to do the rack opinion on a 2010 Ford Fusion. The brake hose on this car, I think it's 2008 Focus. And then the Ranger over there got to do an oil change. So yeah, I got a little bit going on for tomorrow, and we've been on schedule now for months, so that's great. Because if I was to get off schedule, it would be really hard. When we do get one that kind of runs over, we got to fix it on Sunday. I had to do the differential cover last Sunday, and then we could work on the RV. But we watched the IndyCar race at Washington D.C. That was pretty cool. Before gas prices went up, we filled the gas tank up. I figured if we need to get up and go, we could go. Beginning of the war. Yep, it's got a 100-gallon gas tank. Takes a little bit of pocket change to fill that thing up. So that's why we extended our trip. Before we go on our trip, we extended the time frame until October. because I didn't save up enough money to get the gas to come back home. So we're still saving for some money. And Michelle says, well, what if we have a flat tire? What if we need a new battery to start it? Which we won't, because there's transfer switches in there that connect all the batteries together. But what if we do have a flat tire? What if we do have a failure? We need to plan for that. Now, if James was still here, he'd be a good person to ask, how much extra money does he bring for if he has a breakdown? And Michelle said, well, you're going to have to change oil halfway. And I'm like, well, I'm going to put full synthetic in it. So I think we'll be good on our oil change. And we're going to take the long way. So yeah, there's going to be a few more miles involved. I want to stop down in Oklahoma and see a friend. So, okay, yeah, thanks, Calvert, for coming. Thursday, awesome. It was nice to meet you all. It was nice to meet you. Thanks for coming. Hope you have the rest of the week good. Have a great day tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll see you on Thursday, like you said. That'd be awesome. So yeah, I think we had a nice little live stream. Went better than what I thought it was going to be. I didn't think I was going to have enough things to talk about, but I think we did. So yeah, I think I'm gonna sign off and call it right now, and hope everybody that came has the rest of the good night and good week until I talk to you again. So thanks for watching, and you can catch me